Have you ever heard of a story so strange that even after more than 800 years, historians still cannot explain what truly happened? Imagine living in a quiet medieval village where every day looks exactly the same. Farmers work in the fields from sunrise to sunset, church bells echo across the countryside, and nothing unusual ever seems to happen. Then one ordinary afternoon, two children suddenly appear at the edge of the village. Their clothes are unlike anything anyone has ever seen. They speak a language that nobody understands. But the most shocking detail is something no one can ignore. Their skin is completely green. Some villagers believe they are cursed. Others think they have come from another kingdom. A few even whisper that these mysterious children may not belong to this world at all. This is the legendary mystery of the Green Children of Woolpit, one of history's most fascinating and unexplained stories. To this day, no one knows exactly who these children were, where they came from, or why they look so different. Over the centuries, countless theories have tried to solve the mystery. Some are surprisingly logical. Others sound almost impossible to believe. So, what really happened? Let's travel back nearly 9 centuries to medieval England. The year was around 1150, during the reign of King Stephen. England was recovering from years of civil conflict. Villages were small, isolated communities where news from the outside world rarely arrived. Life was simple but difficult. Most people spent their days farming, raising animals, and relying entirely on nature for survival. Hidden in the countryside of Suffolk was a small village called Woolpit. The name Woolpit came from deep pits that villagers had dug to trap wolves, protecting both their livestock and their families. Surrounded by green fields, forests, and narrow dirt roads, the village was peaceful and rarely experienced anything extraordinary. The people of Woolpit followed the same routine every day. Children played near the fields, farmers harvested crops, and everyone knew each other by name. Because the village was so isolated, strangers almost never appeared. When they did, everyone immediately noticed. One harvest season, while local workers were busy in the fields near the old wolf pits, something completely unexpected caught their attention. At first, they thought they were looking at 2 lost children hiding among the tall grass. As they slowly approached, they realized something was terribly unusual. The children looked frightened and confused. Their clothing was made from a strange fabric unlike anything the villagers had ever seen. The design, colors, and stitching seemed completely unfamiliar. But then came the detail that left everyone speechless. Both children had green-colored skin. Not painted, not dirty. Their skin itself appeared to be green. The villagers stood frozen in disbelief. Some crossed themselves in fear. Others whispered prayers. A few believed they were witnessing a miracle, while others feared these children were a sign of something supernatural. The boy and the girl looked exhausted. They seemed hungry, weak, and terrified, yet every attempt to speak with them failed. They answered only in a completely unknown language that no one in Woolpit, or anywhere nearby, could recognize. Unable to understand who they were or where they had come from, the villagers carefully brought the children into the village. Curiosity quickly spread. Within hours, the villagers expected that the mysterious children would immediately ask for food. After all, they looked exhausted, frightened, and incredibly hungry. So they offered them fresh bread, roasted meat, warm soup, milk, cheese, and fruit, foods that every traveler in medieval England would normally accept without hesitation. But something even stranger happened. The boy and the girl stared at the food with complete confusion. They didn't recognize any of it. No matter how much the villagers encouraged them, the children refused to eat. They pushed the food away, appearing frightened rather than interested. Hours passed and an entire day, and still they refused every meal placed before them. The villagers became deeply worried. They feared the children would starve. Then, by pure chance, someone brought in freshly harvested green beans that were still inside their long pods. The children's eyes suddenly lit up. Without saying a single word, they rushed toward the basket. Instead of eating the cooked beans, they broke open the pods themselves and eagerly ate the fresh beans inside. It was as if they had finally found the only food they recognized. For several weeks, this was almost all they would eat. To the people of Woolpit, this only made the mystery even more unbelievable. Who were these children? How could anyone survive on nothing but fresh beans? And why did they seem completely unfamiliar with every other type of food? As the days turned into weeks, the villagers treated the children with kindness rather than fear. They were given shelter, warm clothing, and a safe place to live. Slowly, they began adjusting to life in the village. Over time, the children started trying small amounts of ordinary food. As their diet changed, something unexpected began to happen. The unusual green color of their skin slowly started to fade. Week after week, it became lighter until eventually they looked almost like any other children in England. This strange transformation created even more questions. If their green skin disappeared after eating normal food, had it been caused by illness, malnutrition, or was there another explanation that nobody understood? Meanwhile, the villagers noticed another important change. The girl learned new words much faster than the boy. She carefully listened to conversations, copied people's pronunciation, and gradually began speaking English. Although her accent remained unusual, she could finally answer the questions everyone had been asking since the day she arrived. The boy, however, was not as fortunate. He remained physically weak. Despite the villagers' care, his health continued to decline. Historical accounts suggest that he became seriously ill not long after arriving in Woolpit. Sadly, the young boy did not survive. His death left the villagers heartbroken. Now only the girl remained, the only person who might finally explain the incredible mystery. As the girl slowly became fluent in English, the mystery that had fascinated the entire village finally seemed close to being solved. The villagers gathered around her, eager to hear the truth. They asked the same question once again. Where did you come from? The girl's answer was unlike anything anyone had ever expected. She explained that she and her brother came from a place called St. Martin's Land. According to her, it was a peaceful land where everything looked strangely different from England. The sun was never bright. Instead, the entire place existed under a constant twilight, as if it were forever caught between day and night. Soft light filled the sky, but full daylight never appeared. She also claimed that everyone living there had green-colored skin, just like they once had. Even more strangely, she described a bright river separating their homeland from another much brighter land that could be seen in the distance but seemed impossible to reach. One day, while following their family's cattle, she and her brother heard the sound of church bells. Curious, they followed the sound through what she described as a large underground passage or cave. They kept walking toward the mysterious noise. Eventually, they reached a bright opening. As soon as they stepped outside, the sunlight overwhelmed them. The light was so powerful that they became frightened and confused. Before they could find their way back, they realized they were standing in completely unfamiliar fields. Those fields belonged to the English village of Woolpit. The children searched for the cave again, hoping to return home. But no matter where they looked, they could never find the entrance. They were completely lost. The villagers listened in silence. Some believed every word. Others dismissed the story as the imagination of frightened children. But no one could explain how two children speaking an unknown language had suddenly appeared in an isolated English village wearing unfamiliar clothes and possessing green skin. Years later, this extraordinary account was recorded by two respected medieval chroniclers. One was William of Newburgh, an English historian known for carefully documenting unusual historical events. The other was Ralph of Coggeshall, an abbot whose writings also described the mysterious children of Woolpit. Although the details in their accounts differ slightly, both historians agreed on the central mystery. Two children with green skin had appeared in Woolpit. They spoke an unknown language. The boy died soon after arriving. The girl survived, learned English, and told the incredible story of St. Martin's Land. These written records are the reason historians still discuss the mystery today. Unlike many old legends that survived only through storytelling, the Green Children of Woolpit were documented by respected writers living surprisingly close to the time when the events were believed to have happened. But for more than 8 centuries, historians, researchers, and scientists have searched for an explanation that could finally solve the mystery of the Green Children of Woolpit. One of the most widely accepted theories is surprisingly simple. Some historians believe the children were ordinary human beings who suffered from a medical condition known as hypochromic anemia. This illness, caused by severe iron deficiency and malnutrition, can sometimes give the skin a pale greenish appearance. According to this theory, The children may have been starving for a long time before they reached Woolpit. Once they began eating a healthy diet, the unusual green color slowly disappeared. Supporters of this explanation also point to the children's strange eating habits. Since they had been malnourished, they may have trusted only the familiar food they had eaten before, fresh beans, until they gradually adapted to other foods. Another theory focuses on history rather than medicine. During the 12th century, groups of Flemish settlers had migrated into parts of eastern England. Political conflict and violence forced many families to flee their homes. Some historians believe the two children may have become separated from their parents while escaping through forests and remote countryside. If they spoke a Flemish dialect, the people of Woolpit would not have understood a single word they were saying. Their unfamiliar clothing, language, and appearance could easily have made them seem completely foreign to the villagers. But what about their mysterious homeland called St. Martin's Land? Some researchers believe the frightened girl may simply have been describing memories through the imagination of a child. Others suggest that St. Martin may have referred to a real church or settlement connected with Flemish communities, and that over time the story became more mysterious as it was retold across generations. Of course, not everyone accepts these ordinary explanations. For centuries, some people have believed the children came from a hidden underground civilization. Others claimed they had crossed into our world from another dimension. Some even suggested they were visitors from another planet. Although these ideas capture the imagination, no historical or scientific evidence has ever confirmed them. That is why most modern historians continue searching for explanations based on real historical events rather than supernatural theories. Even today, the Green Children of Woolpit remain one of the most unusual mysteries ever recorded in medieval England. Whether they were lost refugee children, victims of illness, or the inspiration behind a legend that grew over time, one fact remains unchanged. Their story has survived for more than 800 years. It continues to inspire historians, writers, filmmakers, and millions of people fascinated by the unexplained. Perhaps the greatest mystery is not where the children came from. Perhaps the greatest mystery is why their story has refused to disappear after so many centuries. Some questions in history are eventually answered. Others slowly fade away. But every now and then, a mystery survives generation after generation, reminding us that the past still holds secrets waiting to be discovered. And the Green Children of Woolpit remain one of those unforgettable mysteries. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy mysterious true stories, forgotten history, and cinematic documentaries that explore the world's greatest unsolved mysteries, don't forget to subscribe to Talevora, because every mystery has a story, and every story leaves a question behind.